Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Ralph. He cooks and I eat.
And we're actually, well, not so much cooking as baking today. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a great old recipe from, we found in an old cookbook. From the South, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Junior League put out a cookbook many years ago. Lots of great recipes in it. But this one is for oatmeal macaroons. They're really oatmeal cookies, but they call them oatmeal macaroons.
And I love oatmeal, so I found this recipe and Kevin said he'd make it. It didn't seem like it would be too labor intensive since he's still recovering from his injury.
Still recovering, but I don't think it's a very straightforward recipe, but it's a solid recipe and a good one. We're not including any nuts or raisins in this recipe, but if you like those things with your oatmeal cookies, you definitely could add a cup of either one in this. We're not doing it. We're just going to do a straight up oatmeal macaroon.
And go easy on the spices.
Right, easy on the spices. If you like,
because I like a real oatmeal-y oatmeal.
Right, you really want to taste the oatmeal and not all the real nutmeg and cinnamon, and some people put cloves and allspice. We are going to put a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg, but that's all.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
good.
So we're going to get started. Here's what I've got. I don't know if you can get in here, Ralph, but we've got 2 sticks of butter and 2 large eggs, okay? So to that, we're going to add a cup of brown sugar, right? We always pack our brown sugar when we measure it, and a cup of white sugar. All right. And while we're here, we're going to put in some vanilla. We're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla.
Vanilla is often considered white, but look, it comes out dark.
That's right.
You ever think about that?
Well, vanilla extract is dark. The vanilla bean is very dark, actually. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's get all this stuff incorporated and put together.
Is that called creaming or combining or blending?
Generally, when your fats and your sugars go together, it's what they refer to as creaming. Who's on the hi-fi? I saw Don Gibson.
Yeah, I thought it would be nice to have a little country soul to go with this southern recipe.
So I'm going to get this good and mixed up, and then we'll come back and get our dry ingredients together and get things incorporated. So our eggs, butter, sugars, and vanilla have been beaten together and creamed together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our dry ingredients together. In the sifter already, I've got 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. This is our baking soda here. This is going to be our leavener. So let me put a teaspoon of that in there. Now we're going to put in our spices. So we're going to have some cinnamon. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I'm just going to put in a little bit of nutmeg, maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay? Then we're going to sift it all together. You'll often see this in recipes, and it's just a good way to incorporate all your dry ingredients, and also to make sure, the flour is sort of light. It can clump together. I don't know if you ever noticed that, Ralph. Sometimes that happens.
Well, I noticed that this device, I never knew what it was until recently, but I actually bought one recently too, I think, or maybe you got me one, because it's I don't do that much baking or anything, as you know, but it does come in handy, and it, like you said, it lightens and fluffs up the flour and gets rid of any lumps or clumps. So there we have that sifted flour. Sometimes they ask for it to be twice sifted.
Yes, sometimes they do.
Is that like if you're making like a really light cake, like an angel food?
Or something? Sometimes an angel food or a chiffon cake, they'll want it sifted multiple times.
So what's next?
So now we're going to have our dry ingredients, and we're going to put it in here with our butter and eggs.
And as usual, you slowly blend. You don't just throw it all in at once, right?
Okay. We're going to get this in. And then once we have this incorporated, it smells good already. You know, this also, of course, stiffens up the batter that the flour does. So you have, when it's just the eggs and the butter and the sugars, it's sort of on the looser side. But once you get the flour in here, you can see where it's
becoming that consistency that you want, so you can drop it as almost like a what they call it, a spoon drop or something onto the
drop cookie. Now, of course, we said these are oatmeal macaroons, and the one thing that no one's seen yet is the oatmeal, but it's coming. So I want to get all this good and mixed. I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and we're going to stir in 3 cups of oatmeal to this batter. All right?
Old-fashioned oatmeal macaroons.
So this is the time now for our oatmeal. I'm using old-fashioned oats. You could use quick oats, would work here too, but this is what I have on hand.
Plus, I think the old-fashioned oats are
a little heartier.
Yeah, I think you have more of an oatmeal flavor, and they kind of stand up more in the recipe.
Yeah.
They don't get as mushy.
No, because essentially the quick oats are already kind of they're like blanched, because sort of
pre-chewed. Pre-chewed for grandma and grandpa.
So we're gonna just on a low speed. I'm gonna kind of work these. You could do this with a spoon too, but this is just easier for me. I'm gonna work this oatmeal into our batter. So we've got our batter all set, and I'm putting it on our cookie sheets or jelly roll pans, whatever you like to call them.
With parchment paper?
With parchment paper. Now, not everybody likes to use parchment paper. I do. I find it really helps bake a better cookie. And the other part is, too, the release is really easy. You could, just grease the sheet instead of using the parchment paper. But to me, this is just so much easier. And clean up, as they say, is a breeze, is a snap. All right, so let me get these in the oven. Again, the oven's 350. We're going to put them in for 10 to 15 minutes.
See how quick and easy that is, folks? That's a recipe I can handle.
That's right. This really didn't take long at all. So we're going to put the cookies in 10 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on them. I'm going to put the batter in the fridge. It's a little on the warm side today, so I like to keep the batter cool. So we'll stick this in the fridge and then keep doing our batches till we get all the way through and see how many we get. It should be probably about 4 or 5 dozen.
Can't wait to try them. All
right. Again, courtesy the Junior League of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, these are oatmeal macaroons. Timer just went off, about 12 minutes.
How are they looking?
Well, the top ones always cook first because it's a little warmer up there. So I'm going to give the bottom ones another minute. So you tell me how they look. They sure smell delicious.
They smell good. They look good. They do look more like just a regular oatmeal cookie, but they look airier. Maybe that's the macaroon part of it.
They have a wonderful, oaty kind of aroma to them, and they have a nice look. You'll see that they'll deflate a little bit as they cool off. Part of that puffing is from the heat.
But I have a feeling that they're going to be light and airy, or more like a macaroon than a traditional oatmeal cookie.
So what I like to do is leave them on the rack for another minute or two, on the pan rather, and then I'll move them to the cooling rack. They're very, cookies are very delicate when they first come out of the oven, so you got to really just take your time with them. So we're going to take the other ones out. Oh, they look nice. Very, very nice. Out they come.
Oh, yeah.
And those will go here.
They almost look like snickerdoodles. Are also a favorite cookie.
Yes.
And a southern cookie, I think. I don't know.
And that's another just really simple kind of, really a sugar cookie.
Traditional.
So we're going to let those cool. Now these have been out a few minutes, so we're going to
now you're going to put them onto the rack to cool further?
Yeah, put them onto the cooling rack here. So, and then they'll cool. But see how nice and easy these babies come off here with our parchment. So we're going to get our cookies off the cookie sheet onto the cooling rack, and we're just going to keep on going, and we'll see how many we get out of this batch. So we are taking off the last of the cookies here. We ended up getting 5.5 dozen out of this recipe, so that's pretty good.
Because I think it only called for, or suggested you to get, what, 4 dozen?
And I could have made them a little bigger, but I kind of like
I think that's a good
sort
size.
of the average size of the cookie. So anyways, very happy with how they look, but of course with anything,
Proof is in the tasting.
that's right. So
Proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the cookie.
got a nice chew,
Are they airy?
airy, but oatmeal-y, cinnamon, and I got a little bit of that nutmeg in the background. And of course I have to share with my cameraman. There you go. What do you think?
Very good. For my money, I think I would go a little less on the nutmeg, just for me, because I'm a super oatmeal freak. But I can taste all the ingredients very well. I love the texture.
Yeah.
I think
I like
people-
the nutmeg, but yeah, everyone, this is the beautiful part about baking. You can make things your own, but good recipe. So thank you, Junior League of Baton Rouge, Louisiana,
Yep, from the
from
River,
the 60s.
River Road Recipes
Uh-huh.
was the book we got this from. And we were accompanied by some more country soul of Don Gibson. So hope you enjoyed. We sure did.
We did. Thanks for being a part of this one, and we'll see you next time.
I'm Cavalcade of Food.
Bye.
Adios.